Good afternoon. Right, we're going to take a look at the weekly Ftse first. Now, as we all know, last week was trying, but we got there in the end. Now, the important thing I can see on this weekly chart is that this week, we tried for the top side, and I will show you why we failed in a little while, but we're still below this 200-week moving average, and all the while that we do stay below there, and also this Fibonacci level here, and that's coming in, the 38.2 is coming in at 69.84. Now, we know we went above that on Friday, but it really wasn't looking at all well up there. Now, our indicators on the weekly chart, we've got bullish stochastics for the weeklies. The RSI is pointing higher. We're not yet crossing the zero line on the weekly charts. Now, because we're not crossing this at the moment, means that there's more pressure, if you like, to the downside. And if you look at what we've done since 2016, where we see that big base there that we made, people say that this wasn't Brexit, guys. It was not Brexit. This was the beginning of the rally, and that was in February. So we know that January, February is a good time to go get involved in these markets. But this big base here, that was Brexit. Okay, and as you can see, up and away we went. Now, what are we going to do this week? You've got that weekly pivot, and that's coming in this week at 68.99. Now, we closed at 69.18, so we've got to be aware of that. Okay, we did just sort of blip down. We got 69.02, but we're going to watch that 68.99 level this week, and then underneath that, obviously, we have the 68.03. But let's go along to the daily chart and just take a look at that as to why it did what it did on Friday. Now, I'm always a great believer in keeping old trend lines, whatever you want to call them, on charts, because basically you just never know when they will be needed. And if you can see this line that I drew along here, starting in October, you can see that that is exactly where Ftse topped out on Friday. So whatever trend line you put on your chart, now bearing in mind this is only the cash session, so for me, you were all going to have different systems. I only chart when Ftse is open and closed. I don't do the outside area of the futures, and I don't do the spread betting platform ones. I just don't chart them. So I have a different take on where I think it's going to go, and I go with these because I know that when the cash market is open is when this moves, especially when our US brothers come in. But if you can see, it was amazing. Luckily we were short up there, but I had to say, I did have to close my eyes and just hit the button, because it did look as if it was, going to go a lot higher, but it didn't. And that's the bias of technically trading rather than looking at everything that is being bombarded at you, that really some has relevance, some doesn't. You've got to nitpick through it. Well, you don't need to nitpick a trend line. It's there. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to change, on that day. That's the day that the trend line was at that level. And you had protection, as I said to you at the time when we were trading it. We had protection above this 78.6, which really wouldn't have, hurt us at all. So that's what you look for. Now, if you see that we have not broken, well, we're not open, but if tonight we break down below 68.99. You've got to give it some time. You have to give it that bit of time until the cash market opens. Look at the indicators. The dailies are extremely overbought. So, and turning. So is the RSI. So is the ROC. So watch this on when the cash opens, and if we start to break down below here, we're going to come down and we're going to test this level around here. We've got on the moving averages, we've got 68.25, which is our short-term 9-day moving average. We've got our 21-day coming in at 67.86. You've got that 50% at 68.39, and you've got that mighty monthly pivot point, and that's coming in at 68.03. This is 68.67. Now, if the 67.67 even, we start to break down there throughout the week, then puts us in trouble. It really, really is. Okay, our daily pivot is at 69.40. So we're going to watch this. Personally, I think we go lower. I don't see any reason why we should go higher. And if they do take it higher overnight, my faith in the Ftse, guys, at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning is unrivaled. And I do believe they will smack it down. Good luck. Have a great trading week. And I will catch you tomorrow morning.